Afternoon, Cherries fans, and welcome to the latest opposition preview. Well, it's happened. On Wednesday morning, Jason Tyndall, after over 20 years' service to our football club, departed. A club legend, without a doubt. Someone who every Bournemouth fan wanted to see succeed, but sadly, after a defeat by a poor Sheffield Wednesday side, the club decided they had to make the change. Next up is a visit from Birmingham City, a side that we have had relative success against in recent years, as you can all remember. But to discuss this match between the two sides in terrible form, I should say, I'm very pleased to welcome Cal Insull from BCFC Media. Afternoon, Cal.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you, mate. So, firstly, before we go on to the football, do tell us a little bit more about BCFC Media and the special guests that you've got coming on the show.
Yeah, we've not long started up. Me and a few people, Kieran, Elliot, and Dan. We started up, and we just want to sort of get a bit more exposure for Blues fans on a new platform. And one big thing we are pushing is those interviews, like you've just said. We've just today actually interviewed former manager Lee Clark, and next week we've got ex-Blues player Darren Purse. We'll also interview Paul Robinson as well. So there is some exciting interviews that have been and that are coming up as well. And we'll be doing articles, we'll be doing general podcasts, previewing games, reviewing games. So yeah, it's looking quite good.
Excellent stuff. And how do any Cherries fans who are interested in having a look find the channel?
Twitter, BCFC Media, or search that in Spotify or Apple Podcasts. The podcast View from the Tilton Road, so it's either that or BCFC Media, and you'll find it quite easily.
Excellent stuff. So, as I did mention at the start, Birmingham aren't in great form themselves, but you've accumulated 5 points from 5 games. It's better than what we've got, which is 1 point in 5 games. But you know, that considering, do Birmingham fans feel that this is the perfect time to play Bournemouth, considering our form and Tyndall being sacked?
Yeah, well, even before you sacked Tyndall, I was thinking it was still a decent time to play. I know when you played us at our patch, it wasn't the best game for us, and I didn't expect anything from it anyway. But no, I think our away form's certainly much better than our home form, and I think if there is a chance we could get... See, to be fair, a point away at Wycombe is a poor result, but a point away at Bournemouth, even in the form you're in, I would happily take that now, especially the position we're in. So, yeah, it's obviously going to be a tough game. You're in the top 6. You are there for a reason, even though you're not in the best form. But it just depends. I do feel like we'll just kind of park the bus and hope for the best, even though you're in slightly worse form than us.
And it's fair to say that Birmingham fans aren't happy with the manager, Aitor Karanka. How long do you reckon it will be realistically before he suffers a similar fate to what Jason's suffered?
It's hard to say really, because obviously when we appointed him, it was a 3-year deal. It was a project, and I still kind of stand by that. I'm not actually sure personally whether I'm Karanka in or out yet. It's difficult, but I'd have thought if we'd have lost to Wycombe, that could have been it. Drawing against Coventry wasn't fantastic, although we did play fairly decent especially in the first half. But no, I think if we lose quite embarrassingly against you on Saturday, then I will kind of be heavily Karanka out. But I think I don't expect us to get anything. So if it's just a narrow loss or whatever, then I think he could possibly have 2 or 3 more games. I know we've got Millwall and Norwich coming up, so they're both going to be tough in their own right. So it's just about kind of picking up a win. And I think if we can get 1 win, who knows what can follow. But yeah, I don't know how long he's got left. It's quite hard to say.
It's of course he's come out recently as well and said about Blues fans being too negative after the result against Wickham, which I think personally is a strange thing to say, because Birmingham are a big club. You know, in my opinion, Birmingham are a big club and should be well above where they are. But you did mention there, it seems like there's been a bit of a rot for a while. How long do you think it's been going on for, really?
Yeah, quite a long time. I think, obviously, I was really, really happy with the appointment of Karanka. I thought it was going to be a turning point. Clearly not, but it still could be. But at the minute, it's not. And I think it's been since Rowett got sacked. I think it's never been the same since then. I mean, we had him. We finished 10th 2 years running. Pretty good for Blues. And obviously, since then, we've had Zola, we've had Redknapp, we've had Steve Cottrell. I thought Gary Monk was quite a good manager, but obviously things turned quite sour there. But yeah, I don't know. It's difficult. I like him, but it's been going on for a while, and some people say it's Karanka, it's his system, it's not working. The players are passengers, stuff like this. But I suppose when you look back and you think how many managers have been unsuccessful and have got players in and have took players out, you could possibly not blame Karanka too much. I think it's not the nicest thing to say, but I suppose we are a little bit rotten. Maybe just things that have gone on in the background in the recent years that haven't helped. But it's difficult to say, because I do think the players try, and I can see what Karanka's trying to do, but I'm just not so sure it's going to work at all.
Do you think it might be that he just needs a little bit of time, and you have to just go through the bumpy road to get to where he wants to be?
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, obviously he was given a 3-year deal, and it's some sort of project, but it's kind of difficult to have a project in the Championship because you're either fighting where you are in a sort of positive light, or you're fighting where we're fighting in a more negative light, or you're kind of in between. The Championship, you know, if Blues win twice, we're looking sort of 18th, 17th upwards. If you win twice, you're looking at automatic. So it's weird, but he's had enough, well, maybe not enough time, but he's brought in a lot of players, should we say. And yeah, I don't know whether it is his system, but I suppose he could do with a bit more time. But does that time take us down to League One? You just don't know. Looking like it.
At the start of the season, in the first game, I interviewed James Brown, who's a Birmingham fan, and he was quite optimistic. Did you feel that there was real reasons to be optimistic at the start of the season?
Yeah, I think he's got quite a good pedigree. I mean, you saw the things he did at Middlesbrough. He is quite a good Championship manager. I know Gary Monk was, and obviously that didn't turn out the best. And some people kind of compare Karanka to him. But yeah, I think he is a good manager at the end of the day. But like we said before recording, I don't know whether he's the guy to sort of do it with us. Maybe he should be somewhere else. I'm not too sure, because I'm still on the fence to whether it is him or the players. I'm not too sure, but I guess we're going to have to see, because I don't think he will get the sack anytime soon, because like we mentioned, he's on that 3-year deal, and I think the board are willing to give him even more time.
What do you feel has been the biggest reason for, and what's been really going wrong across the club?
Well, like I say, it goes back quite a few years now, and I think it's just been more things behind the scenes that have just sort of affected what goes on in the field, which is obviously never going to be good. I think throughout the years, especially a club like Bournemouth, I don't know whether it's just because obviously Birmingham, big city, always trying to be chasing the bigger clubs around them, could you say? And Bournemouth, I suppose, yeah, you've got Southampton around you and things like that, but there's that sort of, not small club mentality, but there's a bit of an environment around the club that it's kind of just smaller to Birmingham, and I think that kind of helps. And especially even when you got relegated, I think it's kind of just stuck. And even when Eddie Howe left and Tyndall's obviously stayed, Bournemouth have always been quite just a good club. And I think, not saying Birmingham isn't a good club, but it's just maybe not well run, which I think a club like Bournemouth is. But yeah, I think the problems off the field haven't helped. Definitely not. But then I suppose what goes on the field isn't fantastic either.
So currently Birmingham sit in 21st place with 28 points. What do you feel needs to change to get yourself above that safety line, or keep yourself above that safety line?
Well, another striker would have done that, I think. One, obviously, we were heavily linked with, and I thought we were going to get him. I woke up on transfer deadline day and I was excited to post a picture of him holding the blue shirt on my social media, but it didn't happen. The Hibernian striker, Kevin Nisbet, I did really want him. I know I didn't really know him 6 days ago, but when you see your club's interested in a player, you're obviously going to research them. And he has scored quite a few this season. And Sam Cosgrove, I do think that could still be an all right signing. I've not heard the best things about him, but I do think he will score a handful. But Nisbet would have been a good player to get alongside him, because I don't think, as fantastic as he's been, and I can't speak highly of him, but Djukovic maybe isn't working in Karanka's system this year. That's probably why Hogan's been getting the nod. But then Hogan, I think he's just a confidence player. But even that, he scored against Middlesbrough away and he hasn't scored since. So I suppose he's not a confidence player, or is he? But another striker would have helped. I'm not sure whether Hogan and Cosgrove can do it. So that's going to destroy our hopes. But I do still think we will stay up. I think, yes, Sheffield Wednesday are getting a couple of wins, and obviously Rotherham won the other night quite well, actually. And that does kind of frighten me a little bit when we shouldn't be down there. I suppose you've got teams like, no disrespect to them, but you've got Rotherham, you've got Coventry, and Wickham, who we are afraid to play. I mean, I posted on my Twitter before we played Wickham. I said, like, I'm really nervous for it, and it's the most I've been nervous for a while, and that just shouldn't be like that. I should be nervous to play Bournemouth or Cardiff or Reading, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think we'll stay up, but I do think it could be like a last game of the season job again.
How do you feel that you're going to set up against us this weekend, considering it might be a little bit of an unknown now Jason's gone?
Well, we played a 4-3-3 against Wickham, 4-2-3-1 most games before that. It's either one of those two Karanka likes to set up in. It's probably going to be, well, we played quite well away, and I'm pretty sure we'll be in the, well, we probably can go in our home kit, but I'm pretty sure we'll play in the green kit again just because of the amount of luck we've had in it. But no, I think we'll set up sort of passive. I think we'll kind of maybe let you come on to us a bit and then try and break. I don't know. I don't think we'll be as, open and as spraying the ball about. I say that like we're a good side, but I don't think we will do that. I think we'll hold off, and I think we will try and camp in our own half, and I think we will just sort of see what comes from it, really. I don't see us conceding loads. Like, I don't see us conceding any more than 2, but I'm not sure if I see us scoring any either.
Personally, I'm hoping you don't play in the green kit, because we've not had much success against teams playing in green kits this season. Sheffield Wednesday, of course, on Tuesday, and Millwall. Preston also played in green, and they beat us at home. So, yeah, by all means, please do play in the blue. But Jonathan Woodgate is going to be in charge of the Cherries this weekend. He's going to be on a caretaker basis. They do say that they're going to appoint somebody externally. Whether or not that means that, because he's only recently joined the club, whether or not that puts him into the equation or not, we're unknown. But do you think he might get the job here if he does well? Or is there anybody else who you think might get the nod?
I think he could. It depends. If you go on a 3-4-5 match winning run, I don't see why he can't. He's got to sort of steady the ship. I mean, it's a great opportunity for him to start off on the right foot against Blues on Saturday. But obviously, we're obviously from our side, I'm hoping we kind of damage that a little bit. But no, I think he could get the job. It just depends sort of what sort of candidate the club want to put forward. If I'm thinking of a sort of young, I know Woodgate is, but, and I'm not saying he will get the job. I don't know whether this person will even be a candidate because he obviously has managed quite high in the Premier League. But you may have even heard Frank Lampard mentioned. I'm not sure whether they could even look to him. Not sure, but with Redknapp's links to the South Coast, that could potentially help Frank. But no, I don't know. I think he could get the job. It just depends what you do in the next month or so.
He is second favourite for the job at the moment, after Woodgate. There's a lot. I think they're going to do their due diligence though this time round and really pick somebody. So Woodgate could be in charge for the Burnley Cup game, as well as some subsequent games after that as well. Nottingham Forest maybe the week after. I ask everybody this, Cal. You know what I'm going to ask? How do you think it's going to go? It's a bit of a difficult question considering the form of us both.
Well, yeah, I think it's probably easy to say neither of us are going to score, but I think there'll be goals. I can see it being we are quite good away, but I'm not sure if I'm going to predict us to win. I think I'm going to go quite safe and maybe say 1-1.
1-1.
I think, obviously, when you played us, at our ground, it was a training session for you more than anything. But I think times have possibly changed a little bit since then. Who knows? You could come out firing since Tyndall's gone, and it could be like or maybe that's what you needed sort of thing. But potentially, Woodgate's job would be to sort of steady the ship in the first couple of games. So yeah, I'll go for 1-1, and I would happily take that result.
To be honest, we'd love to play you at St Andrews every single week, to be fair, because we've got such a good record there. I shan't mention the 8-0. Shan't mention that again.
Please don't.
Well, thanks for joining me, Cal, and all the very best with the channel, and good luck after, of course, this weekend. We do need, of course, the 3 points ourselves, as well as you do. But yeah, all the very best with that, and yeah.
No worries. And
look forward to watching your videos. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Well, thank you again for joining me on this opposition preview. Do remember, straight after the Birmingham game, we will have our free-for-all. Hopefully, it's a little bit more cheerful. Also, Tom Jordan will be back with his player ratings shortly after the game as well. So until the next video, up the cherries, and thank you for joining me. And let's hope Birmingham don't play in green. Please, no. Thanks again.